Hello guys, last node of Legendary Cosmic. Time to get Odin, I hope. Last time I played it, Odin almost died. I stacked a lot of bleed on him, but he barely survived and used his special. Let's see how this plays out. I like that the endgame Thanos at least don't have enough don't have more than 50% max health because they're the only ones in Dark Dimension that actually use their passive that removes your buffs. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I should have started with basic, I don't know. Now I want to put on... No, that's not unavoidable also. Oof. Yes, that's great. Who is he gonna taunt? He also. Yeah, I kinda feel like I have to kill the other first. Okay, that's amazing. He has a vulnerable. Odin, yes. I think he can't get stunned because I stunned him last time. He cannot gain trauma, so even if you put stun on him. Okay. Let's try it out. Yeah, no trauma. Huh. Let's do this for the ISO attack. Great. Finally, this was like 3 days after the event ended, which is not the best. I cannot check here that what I used, but basically it took me 2 attacks for the first 2 nodes and 3 for the second. So in Cosmic, well, I used 6 characters. I used Mephisto, Thanos Endgame, Gladiator, Super Skrull, Gorr I added later when I had the ions, so it could heal less, and Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan was the best. You have some mythic characters there, but Old Man Logan was destroying them, especially with the Super Skrull. I think it's obvious that you bring those characters. Like you debate who the others are besides Mephisto, Super Skrull, and Old Man Logan. But let's talk about it a little bit. Old Man Logan was doing a lot of damage, ability blocks, stuns. I had him in the middle, and this is a bit risky because he cannot revive, even if he has survived once because of Mephisto on the field. And to have Mephisto die and not Old Man Logan is very rare. So Old Man Logan can revive. But so he can get a speed bar. So you have here when he's attacked, he fills speed bar for self by 20%, which was great. And you reset until he didn't die and he did do a lot of damage and he cleared a lot of stuff. Striker, I think, is the play for him. You use him with his team like this. He does a lot of damage, especially now at 7 red. I'm excited to get diamonds when they become available. And this, after he has close out, this changes a lot more and puts drama out. I think he's an amazing character, was the MVP, and a no-brainer, Man Logan is the best. Then you almost had Super Skrull second, because he was taking a lot of turns, giving speed bar to Man Logan, so he could do his thing. Then he was putting out Exposed, which synergized with Thanos' endgame expose mechanic, that when someone with Exposes attack an enemy, then he generates ability energy for his team, for two people. And then you have also an Expose out with his special, energy flowing around. Also, Man Logan, when he assists here, he generates one ability energy for himself, one ultimate ability. So it can give him like a 2 energy, 3 maybe if he uses his basic on an a vulnerable, and you have the expose from Super Skrull. So he gains a lot of energy, he gains speed bar, because here when he does assist he gains also 20% speed bar. So and Super Skrull, yes, if you have him with more villains and not two heroes, he doesn't put drama to everyone here, and he doesn't put ability block here, but he's still an amazing character because he speeds up Man Logan. He doesn't do a lot of damage. He puts out offense down to everyone. He flips buffs that are it's very nice. Yeah, I loved Skrull. I think he was the second best, in my opinion, in Dark Dimension 8. Not of those characters, Mephisto, of course, is the best, just in this context. And he's a little bit of a detriment because there are many Dakins that spawn, and he gains it into stealth, and if you give them speed bar and they keep going, they can wreck you. It's also a little bit the case with Mephisto passive, that he puts stealth to, or does it say that? When this character normally drops below 20% max health, he applies stealth and death proof to that character. So you have to be a little bit careful with those Dakins, but yeah, I think Super Skrull and Mephisto are no-brainers. Mephisto definitely does do a lot of stuff. These two attacks are unavoidable because you also have Spider Weavers, and you have to have Skrull and Mephisto. It's very nice, so maybe you can kill them without missing too many attacks. This is not the best to use all the time because this puts taunt on Man Logan, but if you time it correctly, that Man Logan has full health and he's close to go, the opponents may attack him once, give him 20% speed bar, and then he doesn't die and he goes faster. So that's kinda nice, but many times you don't want to use it. You want to use basic maybe, that puts out also bleed and chains and stuff. And his ultimate is of course powerful. You also have opponent Mephisto in the first nodes. In the first node you have two Mephistos spawning, and I would like to have a Gorr there, but I brought him up a little bit after that. But he goes very fast at the beginning, and his mark of Mephisto this here is beside his besides mark of Mephisto, that you cannot get trauma. That's very nice, and you cannot have your speed bar reduced, which I don't think happens that often in Dark Dimension 8. This is nice, 50% damage. Sometimes you have to put exposed and exhaust and reduce the stats of the opponents. You can use this and have a few expose on the field, and then give energy to everyone. quicker. There are cases we can use this. But Mephisto was a lot slower than Super Skrull. He goes very fast in the first couple of turns, but then he goes very... Yeah, he doesn't takes the amount of turns, and he's not super tanky even with his rework that he got 100% more health. He's not super tanky. He's kind of risky to die. You want to have him on the side. But he's one more character that goes, has a Man Logan do his assists, and when he does his ultimate, he actually does do a lot of damage. Of course, you want to have Mephisto besides, like I mentioned it, and I think he was a great, but maybe even the fourth best, because the third best character was Thanos Endgame. He was amazing. His passive prop is super amazing and can really help you clear almost impossible to clear wave otherwise, or like to one shot maybe the wave. That's maybe you want to slowly chip away with it at it, especially if you have like two gladiators with thorns and safeguards, or apocalypse with the safeguard and speed up and stuff. You can flip the game on its head and remove the opponents all of their buffs, especially now at 6 stars. I'm excited to get him to 1 diamond when I can. I pulled this, which was lucky. And he can also does this if you time his energy generation and stuff correctly, and he can use this. He can does this with his ultimate, which can also turn the game around and does do a lot of stuff. And he's almost ready to die. He clears the opponent's positive effects. He drains back up, and he also flips the negative effects on himself, and no, he clears them from himself and annihilators, that you have some annihilators possibly with him. So this is very nice. Stun trauma, stun for 2 turns. Expose, so you can mess around with his ability generation. This does to Terminator 1. It's not the fastest character. I like to have him as a raider because, well, 5% speed bar reduction isn't like super impactful, especially you use him very often in arena, that speed bar cannot be reduced in many cases. So you kind of want to have one more person putting out vulnerables. He does do hit multiple people, or here he does hit 2 times. So in all his abilities he can crit. This may actually do more damage if you don't have vulnerables to have him do his striker attack. And I feel that because I tried both, and I tried also other people as raiders, that he goes at the time when the opponent's Gladiator just dropped under 50%, so he cannot use his striker attack at the beginning, but he can put a lot of vulnerables out for the next person that goes, maybe a Mephisto or a Apocalypse to then use. So I'm very positive about a raider. I like him as a raider. As I said, you also have like 2 strikers on the team in arena that I don't know necessarily if Apocalypse in the context of arena is better, because he doesn't put out stun, but he gains speed up, so that's nice, and you have him as striker for many other stuff. You have Mephisto as a striker. I feel he's great as a raider. And then you want to pair up those characters with, like, as I said, Thanos Endgame is the third best. I cannot see a team that will work well without Thanos Endgame. Then I brought Gladiator. I brought him actually at the very beginning because I needed this for an hour. I thought would be very strong and very important. And I liked what he did. Like he tanks a lot of attacks. If you have Thanos endgame adjacent to him, you can micromanage or not. You can put him later, so you can micromanage depending on the node when Thanos endgame is gonna drop, depending on the node layout, how the waves are at the point that you are playing. So you can have him drop early or later if you don't want to put him adjacent to him. It's kind of nice. You can have a Thanos endgame drop reliably when you want, or more reliably. Because you have Gladiator there and take out some RNG, and he keeps Thanos endgame alive. Here he flips the negative effects, he puts a guard that can protect him. He does put out regeneration that can keep him alive. He taunts again. Heals Thanos endgame. Off and down is not the worst. He can like the opponents do less damage so you stay alive. So I really like Gladiator outside of Dark Dimension 8. I think it's super important to have him as a level 3 fortifier. This gives him also like 25% more health. That I think is super important. Besides here he gains 15%, in here he gains another 10. On turn he clears vulnerable on self. He barriers more on turn. He barriers more on spawn. So I think this is a no-brainer to bring him up. Even if you don't bring him for Dark Dimension 8, you bring him right after because he's super important. I liked him to have him on the team. Yes, he may not have been the best. I'm even considering he was better than Mephisto because he was keeping Thanos alive, but I don't think so. And then I brought Gorr somewhere in the middle. He was nice. There are some like ways maybe you could counter opponent's scores because maybe if you're lucky, your passive props first and then you remove their opponent's charge, and then instead of them putting ability block on you, they don't do anything and you do damage to them. And okay, I guess he does some damage. He does put an ability block. I don't remember this being super impactful, that clearing the suns and ability blocks, but this may happen in Dark Dimension 8, I mean. I don't think he was better than Gladiator. I remember at the beginning with the Mephisto marking that you cannot put drama on the opponents, that I would like to have him there. As I remember the notes, maybe like it's situational, like maybe he can be better than Gladiator, but I think Gladiator is more solid in Arena. I see many people in Arena are replacing Gorr and putting Odin, so they keep Apocalypse. So Gladiator has more long-term value. Of course, Gorr is the character that you want to bring up, and I brought him to some degree because of Arena, because I hear people bringing Vol and Vol helping a lot. I wouldn't necessarily do this. Like, it took me like, I got Odin like 3 attacks after most people would get him, maybe 2. And I didn't reset too much. Logan was amazing, Thanos endgame was amazing, Super Skrull was amazing, Mephisto was nice, Gladiator was nice. And we're of course bringing Odin to the next. Something to keep in mind, maybe take a bit a look of on the nose. There's at some point Norman Logan that drops that maybe you want to kill him before he takes turns. There is an Apocalypse that drops. There is a second Mephisto that drops in the first node that you can kill him if you time out when they drop correctly, and you can stun him or ability block at least, and Terminator 1 with so with Man Logan you control him, and then you can Terminator 1 him with a Skrull and he doesn't take a turn. But yeah, I like the team. I like also the value outside of Dark Dimension 8. They were more than good enough in Dark Dimension 8. I think there are characters that have a lot of value long term, so yeah, highly recommend them actually.